Oh, hello, and welcome back to Creature Corner. I'm Jared Krichevsky, the host of Creature Corner. Creature Corner is our little space where we get to make monsters and creatures every day using our creative skills and our experience in the industry. Joining me is my co-host and friend, the Sam to my Raimi, Matt Millard.
I like
the mountain to my madness.
I like the mountain to my madness.
The mountain to my madness.
Yeah.
I was gonna do the Evil Dead to my Army of Darkness.
The evil to your dead.
The Tremors to my Graboid.
The trim to your oars. Oh, speaking of R.I.P. Man.
Oh, I know. Fred Ward passed away. He was one of the actors in starring in opposite of Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Ham. Yeah.
And Kevin Ham in one of like the greatest creature monster movies I think of all time.
Oh yeah.
Tremors. And so Fred Ward, like, he was the lead. He was the leading man of that. He was hilarious. He was grounded and just gave an amazing performance. So
he was handsome.
Yeah, he was very handsome.
He was a very handsome
man. They don't put you on camera unless you're a handsome man.
You gotta be handsome.
You gotta be handsome. That's rule one. So anyway, we're back. We're gonna do week 2 of our Tall Boys prompt, and let me pull that up and show you where we left off. So it's time for the check-in. We're gonna check in. So this is where we left off last week. I haven't touched him. Basically all I did was like, and I now need to weld the hands and work on the hands together. And then I also figured it would be fun to make a VDM brush and kind of populate this stuff and look at, let's see, here he is in Keyshot. So
we
had worked out a good shot.
Yeah, the Dutch is good.
That's good. It's a good shot. Justice, what's up, man? Welcome. Hello.
Hey,
welcome.
Man, what's going on?
So we're gonna do that. We're gonna make a little VDM brush. We're gonna populate it. I thought it would be fun.
What's gonna be the brush?
Well, we're gonna do it. Yeah, I'll show you a quick VDM brush, how to make one. They're super fun and easy. And then
they're awesome.
I thought it would be fun if I gave him like a trench coat made of human skin.
That sounds great, man.
Yeah. I was thinking like Necronomicon style, bunch of like screaming faces.
Like they kind of stitched together, you know?
Yeah, because he's a tall man, and maybe
the faces will
people.
He'll give them.
Yeah, like he's like the Cruella de Vil of evil spirits.
I like it.
He wants to make out of your skin.
I like that.
Okay, all right, good.
That's awesome.
Well, then I feel good about that. Matt, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I went. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen.
Oh, he's not sharing his screen.
What a silly boy.
You silly boy.
So I went a full different direction, which is
hold on.
Which is good.
Hold on, there it is.
Right. So
you went a totally different way.
I went a way different direction. I was thinking more of like a scene in a movie, right? So this is what I've got. I've got this alien that's kind of disembodying these people as like trying to kind of match the human silhouette, but elongating it. And let me show you the example that I'm thinking. It's kind of hard to see in 3D, but sometimes you just have like a scene in mind, right?
You have an idea.
Instead of just like a creature, you just have like a scene in mind, right? Like this alien's going to be backlit. You can't even see it in the scene really, but I've got them kind of split apart. Maybe I'm going to have some interconnecting elements.
What if he was like translucent? You see through it, so it doesn't look. You see like maybe lines, like bioluminescent lines or something.
Maybe it's like very very translucent, and you see through it and just the background, almost like the Predator without the kind of like video tricks. Yeah, maybe
with the effect, you know, the rippling effect of when he's in there.
But yeah, the idea is to have like, you know, there's a person down here. She's scared. she's
having a bad time.
It's a really bad time. And this is an unaltered body, just kind of pieced out, and we'll start to creepypasta it. Creepypasta.
Creepypasta.
You're
gonna put some spaghetti. You're gonna put some spaghetti in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna start to kind of like monsterify this guy right quick. I'm gonna make his proportions weird. Gonna add some different elements, maybe like he's got tentacles, like it's a parasite that's controlling him, and it's growing worms in between all of the segments of the body and puppeteering him out of the darkness.
I like he's got like little hands that are holding the head.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I like that.
It's gonna punch in and be left in the darkness, but you'll see a little bit of quitty bitties.
Is it gonna have a face? Is it gonna have
this is gonna be like the face?
Is it gonna have that? I mean, that's like a dude's face, but is it?
That's the face.
He's got a face. He's got a
no notes. No notes. That's
notes
the face.
Are like
client loves it.
Face, guys.
No, I'm definitely about to go like full kind of Slender Man plus. What am I thinking? Just that. Plus, I'm thinking like
maybe Cloverfield. Or...
No. I want it to be like the doctor from Nightbreed. I can't remember his name, but his mask is incredible. It's just the zipper mouth with the button eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So something really weird and just kind of creepypasta like that. Some elongated forms, very Doug Jones kind of thing, and then just go for it.
I'm just gonna go for it.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm ready.
We're gonna have a good time. So
feels good.
I like it. It feels good, mate. Feels good. Back in the saddle again. Well, exciting, really new, exciting announcement that we have coming on the show, and I'm excited to announce this to Matt. This is the first he's hearing of it, but if we really get some good shares and subscribes and all that stuff, we will wear a hat.
Wow.
Yeah. We will wear a hat.
Oh my God. I've got a hat.
I know. No, man.
That's the craziest part is that I actually have a hat.
That was like the, oh man, I've been holding that in for so
that's
long.
rough.
I
Yeah.
wanted to tell you.
Yeah. So here's the deal. And this isn't like spoilers or anything, but I'm wearing these headphones and it makes it a little hard, Jared, to wear this hat.
That is a good hat.
That's a good hat. It's got a feather in it.
We're gonna feature the hat.
I got a feather. Got a feather on a float last year.
A float.
That's a feather from 17 bald eagles that were battling a bear. And this is the actual American flag has been the first one ever designed by Helen Keller was formed into this hat.
Yeah.
You can look it up. Look it up in the Declaration of Independence.
Look,
you'll see
man, it looks like it has the spirit of the eagle.
Okay, it's probably time to get in here and see what's going on.
Yeah, well, we gotta start making stuff. Anyway, so I've got my little Mambo. I'm just kind of in Noodle Town at the moment, but I thought let's go ahead and make a little DDM brush because it's a nice way to populate the surface of the skin without having to do a whole lot of extra work. Because you're like, man, I gotta detail this. So let's make it quick. So I've got a little plane here. A little mask time. Mask the border. Boom, boom, boom. And then sculpt away. Do as you please. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I was on the wrong thing. Ha. There we go. Get some music.
Oh, it's the Stranger Things song.
It is not Stranger Things. It's Stranger Things-esque.
Hey man, it's a minor 9 joke. It's music theory, so I don't know if you would get it.
I don't know if you get it.
It's going over everyone's head. Someone's gonna comment and be like, "Bro, the minor 9's not even in this set." I'm like, "Hey man, listen, we're here to party." There we go. Okay, yeah. So I'm going back and forth. I just rotated the head, adjusted the camera, adjusted the shot because I want to see this creature head. I'm about to start making them weird. About to start making everything really weird.
Well, let's get really weird with it. Question already. No already. Ask us anything at any time. Get weird. Get personal with your questions.
Not honestly, not too personal though.
Get like invasive and uncomfortable. Question is, how is painting in ZBrush? You mean like poly painting?
Yeah. Can I ask a question about this question?
He's got a counter question.
I have a counter question.
He's got
what do you mean?
What do you?
No. Sorry, not like that. Like how it's painting. Like it depends. Like for concept and just like going as fast and poly painting, it's really fun. If you want to do any sort of projection painting or texturing and stuff like that, it becomes more tedious.
Yeah, like you're not going to use ZBrush for, I think, your like final level of texturing. I mean, that's just going to have to happen in another program. But if you're, if you want to paint vertex color, it's a very simple thing to do. So in that sense, it's fine, and you can project textures, inside of ZBrush.
Yeah, absolutely, you can. I mean, create decent textures.
Yeah.
So that was his follow-up. So decent textures. My follow-up question is, what is your end result? Are you BPR rendering? Are you in Keyshot? Are you taking it to Maya? You taking it to Blender? You going to Unreal? Is there, are there UVs involved? Like, what's the end result? Because it's, I'm not trying to be one way or another about it, but your question is open-ended.
It's like everything has its own circumstance for what you need. So like if it's a stylized character, maybe a little bit more simple, then you're going to use vertex paint, and you can most programs now you can bring in vertex paint and do it that way. Now, if you're going to do, in Keyshot, when we're doing character renders, we're using tileable textures or tileable textures on top of poly paint. So every situation is like totally different. If you're looking for like, let's say cinematic level textures, you got to go to Mari or Substance. That's the only way. So
yeah, for sure. But the I mean, just to parallel that, like
parallel.
Yeah.
Parallel.
A lot of the times, like working in production, if the artist doing the concept or the even just the initial model, if they're poly painting it, I will just oh my God, Max, I just saw that and it just derailed me, bro. If you have the original concept artist's like poly paint on the model, you can sample that and project it onto your model to get your base so that you can at least lock in your base level colors, right? I do that with every model. Even if you have just the concept art and you have the production model, I'll just project that picture onto the damn model and be like, this is the color green. This is this is the kind of gold, just to pull in that information. So, I mean,
you're using it as a base for your texturing process later. Yeah,
absolutely.
And he's having a good time. he's having a great time when he's doing all this.
Everybody loves having good times.
Everybody likes texture baking. Max, I would say my favorite brush.
Jared is.
No, this is a serious question. This is a serious question, and I have a serious answer.
It's not a real question.
It's a real question, and we're going to treat it as such.
Oh, no.
I like the Flakes brush, BFL. And look at this guy. This is super cool.
Yeah, man.
This is my favorite brush.
Every time I'm doing trees or buttholes.
Bark, nasty, like burned skin. Look at that. Wood, chips, all that stuff. So I like this brush a lot. Okay. It was a serious question, and you got a serious answer.
Oh man, you showed Max, bro.
I showed him.
I
showed him my favorite brush,
Mr. 2-minute urinal. You showed him,
Mr. Tim.
Dude made a urinal for the janky pups. That's one that we need to go back to.
What's that? Janky Mups. Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I felt like my sculpt wasn't in the right zone with that, but I'd love to like go back and re-explore Janky Mups.
Love me some Janky Mups.
So I'm basically just working on a plane, flat, with no subdivision levels. We're just gonna make a little brush. So sometimes doing like little brushes like this up front will save you time later.
And they can also inform you, like, okay, yeah, like this is the kind of language that I want.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
If it is, you can just slam it all the way down.
And you can try different things and see what works and see what like, this is definitely it, or not quite termite.
Yeah, and for me, I just have this random human head, and now I'm looking at this one specific reference.
He's got a
but I'm also thinking like maybe he doesn't have eyes. Maybe I'm going to get rid of the nose completely, just a little bit of indentation there, and maybe like the skin is calcifying and growing over his mouth. Maybe that's what we're doing.
Oh, like liquefied, or maybe
like it's just
burned, it could have been burned shut.
See, but but everybody does burns. Everybody does burn.
Acid at him, and he like burned his mouth, let his lips into his mouth.
Like too much L'Oreal. Too many dirty. Too many.
What did you think about the third eye on Doctor Strange 2?
That movie slammed.
The whole movie slams.
So here's the rule that I have. If the movie slams, then little things like that don't even bother me. I don't give a shit. I'm like, man, yeah.
Did it look 100%? No. But like, they'll perfect it, in the next one or whatever they decide to do with it. But like, overall, it's a small detail in a movie with a lot of like really big details.
Yeah, and it's also there's such a suspension of disbelief there to where that's the most unnatural thing you can think.
Yeah,
of.
Like you're not gonna, how many times you walk down the street and be like, oh, he's got a third eye, she's got 4 arms, Like, of course, everything's gonna look CG because we've never seen.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you already know it's not possible.
Our brains are so attuned to what is real and not. So like when you see the uncanny valley, you're like, whoa.
But what I will say, what's fascinating about that is that that's recent, right? Whenever the Nintendo 64 came out and we saw NFL Blitz, we were like, wow, that's the most realistic thing I've ever seen in my life. Right? So now we have like over the last 20 years, everything has just become so insane to where people are being born into incredible visual effects, and by the time that they're 10 to 13 years old, they're like, wow, that CG looks bad. And
They
I'm
don't.
like, what? I'm like, dude, I was looking at cubes for arms, and it looked
partially,
awesome.
yeah, we're very attuned to the language of CGI now. I think this is for people who are not in the industry. Like Matt and I, we went to school for this. We at Gnomon, and so we're obviously trained. Our eyes are trained on it. When you ask normies,
Yeah,
when you ask a normie how they either go like, yeah, rocked, man, it looks so real, or they're like, it looked very CGI.
yeah. Or they'll say the CG looks bad, and whenever you ask them why it looks
And you're
bad,
like, so what do you mean by that? They
yeah,
can't.
they can't tell you.
They can't elaborate other than it looks bad, right? And most comments, on the internet are like, oh, the CGI looks bad, and you're like, well, it doesn't, but there are things that are not working yet, or
Yeah.
So a lot of people like to just blanket it with the oh, it looks bad.
Well, I equate it a lot to, I've made this, I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but no pun intended for the future comment. But I equate it a lot to, relate a lot to like music, right? So whenever you hear a song that sounds, let's say that someone's singing out of, well, nah, it's too obvious. Let's say that the song is just a little dissonant or something's wrong with it. Whenever people that aren't musicians listen to it, they'll say, oh, that just sounds weird or that sounds bad. But they won't be able to tell you why.
Yeah, they can't tell you the chords.
Right. And so, so musicians are the exact other way. They're like reverse engineering it. They're like, oh, they're playing this, they're playing that. Oh, they had this creative decision here. That's why it sounds weird, right? So it's, all of entertainment is the same way. No one is, critiquing the Coliseum fighter and not being in the Coliseum is kind of the same thing, right? You're well, that guy should have hit him with
person. Everybody likes to listen to music, and everybody likes to listen, watch movies. At least there's some kind of movie that you watch that you like at some point. So people may not be able to like communicate, but they know what they like, and they know what they feel in the moment.
Yeah.
They know if something, and really when they say the CGI looks bad, it's like more that it takes them out of the moment.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like there's something there that they can't describe, but the basic listener or the basic visual watcher, they don't like it. That's the most important thing, right? So
whether that's like,
but it's also getting a little saturated. I will say that it was the rest of my point. It was like, well, these kids are growing up on like insane CG, and then they're seeing more insane CG, and it's like, oh, it doesn't look good. You're like, bro, bruh.
Like
we had the Spawn movie.
I mean, like the industry also is. I mean, it's still fairly young. I mean, visual effects goes back 100 years, but it's still, CGI is still relatively young. In that it's a recent technology. It hasn't. We haven't been shifting verts around for like 400 years. You know what I mean? It's still in its infancy, and the fact that it looks as good as it does now is pretty incredible. And then now you have real time, the advent of, and that's also going to change things.
Well, dude, I don't know. I mean, Max wrote like the intro to Maya book in like, what was it, 200 BC? Was that the year that
we're going to get some angry emails?
Hey, if he's going to troll us, we got to troll him.
Someone's getting pinged on Facebook. Like my kid, he prefers watching the like the CG animated shows versus like Aladdin. He watched Aladdin and he liked Aladdin, but he'll watch a CG animated show versus the hand drawn Aladdin any day of the week.
Really?
Any Pixar movie he loves.
Well,
You know,
but yeah, I
all the
mean,
Pixar films, and they're beautiful.
you've also been showing him like all of the new CG movies, right?
Yeah. But we try to, I mean, we try to throw in the animated shows in there. Like he liked Mulan and he liked Aladdin, but there are other animated shows where he can't quite get into it.
Like what?
Uh, man, what was it? I tried Gargoyles.
Okay.
I tried to get into Gargoyles.
So TV against film.
TV against film.
There is a quality dip there.
But I mean, he liked Aladdin. I mean, the original one. He liked.
Well, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Oh, but he liked the original illustrated Aladdin.
Yeah, the illustrated one. He made us watch that one and the new Aladdin. I mean,
Like
the new Aladdin we watched.
The live action one.
Yeah, the live action. I've seen that a couple hundred times.
Ooh. Ooh, that's rough.
Well, I have Stockholm syndrome, so I like it now.
That is rough, man. That was one of the. That's. I mean. Ooh, that one hurt.
It's got its charms if you watch it, on repeat.
The entire thing looks like a set of like a high school play.
Yeah, man.
You know what?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, man. Like I'm not gonna fight you on it. It's not a perfect movie. I still have not seen the new Mulan yet, though.
I think I got like 30 minutes into it.
To me, what really bothers me in the remakes is when they add like weird, unnecessary things in there that weren't in the original cartoon.
Yeah, you mean like in Mulan where she was like a karate master or whatever?
Yeah, and I got it. I had started it and I went, wait, what? Doesn't that change the whole?
Dude, Max brings up a good point. He says VeggieTales.
VeggieTales. Oh, God.
I know a lot of VeggieTales songs.
Do you?
You want me to sing some?
Yes, could you?
You want me to sing some?
No. No, sir. No, sir. No. So I'm trying to think mostly like stretched skin here. You know what I mean? Like trying to make it look like it's teared skin, and then you kind of see the muscle fiber underneath. So what I do is I make like a little oval shapes here, and then I'll cut lines through them. And like, this doesn't have to be perfect because we're just going to populate it all over the body anyway. And it'll kind of just end up looking like noise.
Yeah, the cool thing about the VDM brushes is that they're vector brushes, right? So you
can
you can really overhangs.
You can get real dimension in there. But I mean, even for this, as simple as it is, I'm not going to like go crazy. But also one of my favorite things is they added in deformation was they added a contrast slider, so you can push your details even more.
Yeah. That is.
I recommend making sure you mask off an area, so you're not doing it. You're not breaking your edges here. There we go. So you can make it look really intense. The Church of Yim. Saw Tall Boys and was like, I'm in. That's right. You saw Tall Boys, are like, I'm going to make some Tall Boys. I'm almost done with these brushes. I want to like make like 5 of these. So I can.
There are specific jobs and specific days where it's like I recently had to do some gunshot wound stuff. and it was like, man, I'll just take a couple hours and make a bunch of happy flesh brushes and some VDM brushes.
Isn't that nice? Like when you're like, oh, time to make something disgusting.
Yeah.
And it just makes you so happy. Yeah. What did you think of the Prey trailer? The new.
I actually just watched it.
Oh wow! Like so, I
Looks
just
like 10 minutes before the show started. It looks awesome, dude. It's
I
also like 2 shots, so we have
it's
no
less than
idea
30
if it's
seconds.
gonna be
Like
cool.
maybe yeah, it's like maybe 30 seconds. Um, but yeah. Oh, we got a serious question. Oh hell yeah, Justice worked on that. Yeah, we're excited to see it, man.
Of course he did. Yeah,
I
man.
mean, of course you did. You're a beast. Beast. How did okay? Serious question. How did Gnomon's 3D generalist program help you become a concept artist? I'm currently exploring Gnomon's options on concept design. Would love to hear from alumni. Um, well, the generalist program that I went to, that was like 10 years ago. So Gnomon's changed quite a bit since then, since they've added the BA and everything else. I don't, and I believe they're working on some other programs. I don't know. So basically, I just got trained as a generalist, and from there, I decided to focus on concept, and that's when I started my internship with Jared Morantz at ASC. So like, it was kind of like they showed me the world, and I went there. I want to go there. You know, a lot of people you kind of find what you want to work on when you're there. You know, some people when I went, they went to lighting. Others went like very stylized. They went to Disney, things like that. So you kind of like find what you're into, and it may be something surprising. Like I didn't go into Gnomon being like I'm going to be a concept. I was like I need to learn how to do CGI.
Yeah,
I didn't know what that would. I didn't know what that meant. Like I would, because my understanding of it all was so vague. Like I didn't really understand. I'm just like I want to learn that. That's kind of like that was my attitude going in, and the way was shown to me, and I walked the path. If that makes sense. Matt was like, I'm gonna make some hamburgers.
I went into Gnomon with the idea of I want to work on Godzilla, not Godzilla's toenail. That's what I told myself. I was
Wow.
like I don't want to be the guy like texturing Godzilla's toenail. Not that I even knew what that like that kind of
Was that really your? That was
yeah.
I'm not
Sure.
gonna be the toenail guy.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy like mastering the toenail. I want to make Godzilla, and then I realized whenever I took Jared Krichevsky's class, I was like, oh, you can actually make Godzilla.
Actually, like go work on Godzilla.
Yeah,
man. Wild. Like I saw Jared Morantz's work, and Jared was kind enough to mentor me and guide me through my career, and that was my aha light bulb moment. Like I want that. Like I didn't know what that meant, and obviously, like when I started, my work was really bad.
yeah.
So like it made me really angry because I was like, why does my work suck? And so I had to like buckle down and like practice and like really learn everything that I was supposed to learn. And it's still really bad.
That's the key to success is thinking that your work is bad.
Yeah, if you think your work sucks, you're going to be great.
You're going to nail it, bro.
If you start off in the end and you're like, I'm the greatest.
That's bad.
That's bad. No,
you don't want that.
Realize that we're all really bad. Who wants pancakes? Yes, I do. I like pancakes.
Okay.
Keyshot, I say. What is the better option, to be a generalist or a junior, mid, senior thingy?
What?
Wait. What's the better option, to be a generalist or a junior, middle, senior thing, or all a big nonsense, and just do what you're passionate about. Um, like it depends. Like if you like to try a lot of different things and get good at a lot of different softwares, like generalism is really good.
Yeah,
And
man. I
it's good to
mean,
learn. I think it's good to learn every part of the pipeline.
it's the way into every other specialty in the industry.
Yeah, that's
Whenever you know a little bit about everything, you have a similar language to every artist in that department. And whenever you're talking to them and they're talking to you and you don't understand, they can explain it to you. And since you have a general knowledge of animation, visual effects,
yeah,
simulation,
yeah,
concept art, no matter, like, you like one more than all of the other ones, but if you know a little bit, or hopefully a moderate amount of everything, you can just become the most valuable person in a studio. Doesn't matter if you're a concept artist, doesn't matter if you're a production artist, texture artist. People will notice that knowledge that you have, and they will come to you from other departments and be like, hey, internally we're having this issue, we're trying to figure this out, da 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 da, and they'll come to you even though
great
you're like
point.
modeling some random thing or being a concept somewhere else. You'd be like, oh man, your scale on your simulation's too high, that's why it's taking so long to render, shit like that. I mean, the whole idea is to know as much as you can, to be as valuable as you can, and ultimately you will find something that you become passionate about. And not knowing how to do things is the death of your career, 100%. The amount of artists I've met that were like, oh, I can't do that, and it's like, well, why are you like, what? I mean, that whole mindset is ridiculous, right? If you are just saying I can't do something, it's like, well, you're not willing to learn or even try, right? So that's the mindset, or the mindset of a generalist, is to know, or you're eager to learn all
We were like,
parts of the machine.
go in with an attitude though, like I don't, but I can learn to do that.
Exactly. Right.
You're like, you can say like, I'll take it on.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my, just say like, it's not my specialty, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll learn about it, and I'll study. I'll do whatever. I think
And
more willing to respond to a can-do attitude.
Yeah, I mean, every employer.
You're an expert in this field. Like, obviously they can go to an expert, but like, they're coming to you.
Yeah, every employer will like that about anyone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, what if you were running a company and you're like, well, you know what? This guy says he actually wants to learn how to do it, and he can probably learn how to do it. Like, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want. That's what generalists are. They're the powerhouse of the studio, man.
Hey, Foray, thank you so much. Just for saying that I love you guys. Oh, look at us. We're making friends. Okay, so I've got all my VDMs, right? It's time for Brushtown, I think. And then we can actually start doing some work. So just sculpting these little VDMs, little shapes and circles and stretches. And then we'll see how it looks. Grab a brush, grab any chisel brush up here, and then hit Make Multi-Alpha Brush. Boom. And then that's it. Now we've got our VDMs. I'm going to go back to my tall boy, and what I'm going to do, set up a morph target so I can always go back. Let's paint it down. So I think, yeah, need to Dynamesh it because all the topology is really uneven. But yes, Prey trailer. It's like 4 seconds, but like I've always wanted to see a Predator movie through time, or see Predators deal with people of different areas and times, and like a Highlander Predator would be.
Yeah.
Like the Native American angle, I think, is super rad.
Yeah, it looks dope.
I hope we see more of that.
I'm into it.
I'm very into it. What was in there? Another trailer. Anyway, so now I'm drawn on those VDMs, and look at that. Just nice, juicy, like stretchy, ribby detail. Almost looks kind of like Beksinski.
There's a question for you, Jared.
A question for me. Of the students that you have taught at Gnomon or elsewhere, what are some of the best qualities and traits you've noticed that contribute to success and greatness? Excellent question.
I don't want it.
Like I think that there are mindsets that are helpful. Like I'm going to listen to this. I'm going to listen to what this person says. I'm going to take their feedback and apply it. So it's not just like listening to the critique or what they're lecturing on, but it's the application of the knowledge. So when I see students come back the next week and I can see the progress, the mileage, that tells me that, like, okay, I am communicating effectively to them and they are absorbing effectively what I'm communicating. Like, it's all a communication game. I'm trying to like take what's out of my brain and put it into yours, and hopefully, we can have that connection there. But I mean, I think the most important thing that I see with students is that they're having fun with it. Like, you can see if they're enjoying working on what they're working on, or if they're struggling. So if they're struggling, they're probably not having as much fun. So I want to make sure that they're having fun, and that, like, it's through fun that I think they learn things. So I always have like a mindset that, like, anyone can do this. If you practice enough, if you practice anything enough, you will get good at it and you will learn. And it's just a matter of time and application. So, like, every term, I think there's always a student that comes in with like a lot of creative energy, and I love that too. I love seeing it. Like, when I ask them to do an assignment, and they come back with like 3 or 4 options, and I'm like, holy moly, they did all this work. I love seeing that stuff. Giving me more than what I asked for is always great. And then on top of that, just I like people who are responsive as well. Like, if you're on your phone, I can tell. Like, I can tell, and I can tell if, like, if stuff's sinking in or not, or if you're engaged or not. So, like, I think just knowing how to be an active listener is also very helpful. Mm-hmm. Hey, Rob, well, come hang out next time. We'll see you next time, buddy. Yes, we are very evil. Yeah, you gotta just go into the mindset like, I'm just gonna learn some cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that I said right before you started answering was, like, you gotta want it, man. You gotta want it. You gotta be like enamored by it, right?
It was told to me long ago that this is a lifestyle, and I did not believe that.
Yeah.
And now I understand what it means. Yeah, I like this bacon wrapped shrimp kind of like texture. Yeah, positive attitude, such a big one. Good attitude.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like, you gotta have a lot of. I mean, you gotta have a lot of emotions to make. You gotta learn how to channel your emotions to kind of design some things. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, I know what that feels like, or, oh man, that you gotta push that shit in there and make it weird. That's the fun part about creature design and stuff. Even concept art in general is like, you're just imagining this whole other world, and you're trying to relate to it, trying to make other people relate to it.
You put yourself in the mind of the monster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I'm a creature born of pain and torment. As we listen to like really poppy, air, air, air.
Yeah, I mean, I would never listen to this, just for the record.
Matt only likes soft piano jazz.
The softest of pianos.
Like, unless it's Kenny G, baby, I don't want it. I'm just trying to find like the right brush, the right language that I want.
I know it's I mean, for me, I don't have a solid direction, so it's more exploratory than
Yeah,
anything.
at
Like
this
you're
stage,
just
I'm just kind of like, let's try it again, let's fail.
That's also I was over at a buddy's house right before I left, and they were like, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know." Like, and I kind of explained it to him. I was like, the work that we do requires like so much reference and thought and like I don't know planning that I like to just be like 10 minutes ahead of time. Like, what do you want to do? Just kind of keeps it like kind of fun and less stressful to a way, but also opens it up to like some blue sky kind of ideas, you know?
It is it's freeing to like not have to have everything planned out, but like, some of what a lot of what we do is like happy accidents. You have an idea and you're like, okay, how do we execute this?
Right.
It sometimes it's nice to go in with a plan, and other
Oh
times,
yeah. Oh
uh,
yeah.
and other times you want to freewheel it and just see what like comes out, and that's creativity.
Yeah, and just see what happens because it's all fun.
Like we're not. And also I don't believe in trying to force an idea out as
Right.
well. Like forcing an idea out can be just as detrimental. Like, so if you just let something happen, sometimes it's a little bit easier. I still have to give him like his trench coat of skin. I'm gonna try and get there soon. Just make sure I feel like I'm moving forward.
Well, yeah, but that's also kind of what design is sometimes, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I spent an hour on this one part, and it's like, man, that's not working, dude.
And oh god, dude, I have had
It's
that.
not working at all.
I've had that happen so many times where I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
you're like, okay, and you have to abandon it, and you feel like
I'm a failure.
yeah, you lost time on it, and but sometimes that exploration is worth it because maybe you figure out a tip, a trick that's like, well, this doesn't work for this, but maybe I could use that idea later.
Yeah.
So sometimes that exploration and failure is also really beneficial.
And it's not even like it's not like you did a bad job researching or executing. It's literally just exploring. Some ideas sound really good in your head, and the second you start blocking it in, you're like, wow, this is stupid as hell, dude.
Or you start doing that creature calculus, and you're like, oh, this is not going to go the way I want. Like right now, what's happening is not going the way that I want. But that's okay. We're going to keep trying. It's like one of these brushes is bound to work, and actually, I like it. one of these things is bound to work, but this is kind of working. Big Mike, which of the 3 BFA programs do you think lead into film and TV best? Would love to break into concept entertainment design, but there isn't a specific BFA program for it. I would start learning everything. I'd like go into the generalist program.
That's what I did.
Like, you can learn all that stuff and then have that as a backup before you go into entertainment design. Just because like most stuff is all done in 3D anyway, and a lot of the the design principles you can learn along the way. Y'all are amazing. Please stay at Gnomon so I can take your creature modeling class a couple of years from now. I don't think I'm going anywhere. Let's see. Hey, what do you mean with the lifestyle thing? Why didn't you believe it back then and now you do? Great question. Um, yeah, my mentor, Jared Morantz, told me it's a lifestyle. Concept art is a lifestyle. And what he meant is Jared is a supremely and uniquely motivated person. Jared's passion burns with the fire of 1,000 suns. So he is more motivated than your average person.
Can we sneak in there and also say that he is an absolute master?
He is a master, absolutely. So he's a master of his craft, and on top of that, so Jared lives and breathes what he does, and and that's kind of what I learned. What I meant by that is you kind of have to live and breathe it. For example, when I'm not working, my brain is still working.
Oh yeah, I mean everything
all
you
the time.
see, everything you see in life is. That's.
Yeah,
I mean,
your brain is always working.
yeah.
You're always taking in new information. Uh, for example, even when I'm looking at dumb memes to send to my friends, and I see something, I'm like, oh, that's good reference. Saving that.
Yeah,
Uh,
every time.
that's a cool factoid. I can use that later. Like that's like everyday life stuff.
Yeah.
I go it, and it changed my worldview as well. Like I go to a park and I look at the trees and I think about the trees and how they grew, and you study the subsurface scattering on the trees and how the material reflections on the leaves are. Like every aspect of your brain has changed. The
Yeah.
wiring of your brain has changed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean is like you have to be a little bit obsessive. And
Absolutely, it does consume you, but it's also fascinating, right?
Yeah.
Because you're continually learning, and it becomes fun. It's not
Yeah.
even like
Yeah, I don't want to.
It's not even a chore. It's not a
It's
chore.
not
It's
even
like,
work. Yeah, you're right. It's not
Yeah.
even work to do that. It's just it's what your
Mhm.
brain does now.
Yeah, the more educated you get, the more educated you get, right?
Eh,
It's like once you start to learn how things work, you learn even greater how things work. It's
Uh,
such a,
uh, the skill of curiosity is its own skill. It's curiosity is a muscle uh, that you can flex. So like it does change your life. It does become all consuming. Um,
and that's awesome.
and it's rad because like uh, I think about like how purposeless I felt prior to my awakening. You know, I didn't know what I was doing with my life, where I was going. How did
Oh man, I could write a book on that.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
People have told me I should.
We should write books. So yeah. So yeah. Like now it's all consuming my everything I do. Um, question. You guys are great. Yes, we are. Uh, have you ever got the feeling like, hey, that guy's work is better than mine? I suck. Yeah, every day, dude.
What
every day.
I'm sorry. Do you mean every waking moment of our life?
Do you mean like all the time, or do you mean like every single second of my waking moments?
I mean, dude, that's how Mozart and Beethoven, all those guys felt during like the reawakening in music. Everybody's like, man, that guy shreds. I'm terrible. I've got to do better. You know, I mean,
dude,
can't believe I just compared us to fucking Mozart. No. Dude, I'm gonna kill myself.
Salieri. Look, dude. If I want to feel bad, all I do is go on Instagram. Like, all I do, yeah, it is a natural response to ambition.
Yeah, I mean that's artistry right there.
Yeah, yeah. There's this
all
great
it is.
From Mad Men which is dissatisfaction is a symptom of ambition. It's the coal that fuels the fire.
And Mad Men was that written by uh, Tom Clancy?
It was Tom Clancy. No, well, I mean it's Mad Men, but like the quote is still very appropriate. Like, look, you're always going to be unhappy with your work. And this was a great question that was posed on Twitter a while ago. Is like RJ asked this question. He's like, I like my work, and I'm like,
that tripped me out.
Yeah, and I thought, like, I don't like my work, but I like the process. Like, I love going through the process every time, but I'm not always necessarily pleased with the end result.
I mean, I think it comes down to every artist, give or take, right? Because I think you'll never stop improving if you don't ever.
If you're satisfied,
right? I mean, that's kind of your job, is to be the most critical of your work.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and whenever people tell you like, hey, your work is great, blah, 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 it's like, is it really? Because I'm looking at like 900 flaws right now. You're striving for greatness constantly. And it makes me scared of getting comfortable in my artwork, right? But I mean, ultimately, I guess every artist is like, oh, I want to find my style. I want to get comfortable in it, right? But I mean, shit, man. Like, I feel like if every piece I do I'm in love with, I don't know, it just feels arrogant almost, right? It's like, why?
It's like
I just can't believe it. It's like, dude, I'm really glad for him that he likes his artwork. But it's like, dude, your artwork is incredible, but man, I do not like my artwork.
I mean, like, he's also very good.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I always kind of have, I think, the student mindset that like my work still feels like a fresh version of me, and that maybe with more time I will get the aesthetic that I want. Now what I've got so far has been good because it's kept my family fed.
Mm-hmm.
But like I always feel like I'm chasing the elusive thing that is going to make me get the piece that I want. And
really?
I always feel like I'm chasing it. Why?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm just like, oh, I'm thankful that someone thinks I could design their creature.
Oh, I'm very thankful. It's surreal. And that's what you get called what, imposter syndrome,
right?
Where you feel like oh, I'm a fraud, or they're hiring me, it's a fake, I'll be found out, which is what they found is that happens, that imposter syndrome happens when you have a career field that's highly critiqued as a part of the job.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So our job is also to just be critiqued,
or whenever you're just growing up highly critiqued, right? It's the same. It's the same practice. Like that's also an advantage to some people. Like if you come with like that rough background, like or like working with very insane careers ahead of time that are very demanding physically and mentally, you're kind of used to it and you're expecting it, and so whenever you get into art, you're like, okay, I can almost kind of roll with this. I just got to learn some skill sets.
If you've ever worked in retail, getting critiqued in art is not a big deal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because just work with the general public.
Yeah, I mean, I worked in restaurants for years, and so whenever it became to like, oh, you got to sit down and work real hard, I was like, well, shit, I can do that.
Yeah,
That's easy, bro.
yeah, that's really easy.
Oh, it wasn't good enough, chef. Okay, what do I? Oh, sorry, Miguel. What'd you say? Oh, sorry, Max, not chef. I mean, they're the CG chefs of
Maybe,
Gnomon.
yeah, maybe we start referring. We need,
Chef Miguel,
yes, chef.
Chef Ortega, and Chef
Yeah,
Dion. I'm ready, dude. Let's go.
we need some kind of like moniker,
Yeah,
like maestro. You know, like if you're a director, you get called maestro.
yeah.
You know, yes, chef.
You have to say we chef.
We chef.
We Ortega.
So we're gonna make it just obnoxious.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be really good.
It's gonna be a good time.
We're having a good time. We're having a good time on Creature Corner. Creature Corner, your place for all the yim yams. Yim yams and moose boost. Speaking, oh yes, thank you. Yeah, the text is turning out very Beksinski, which is fun. It's always fun to put, wrap something in skin like this. I should throw him in Keyshot though, and then start working on his evil skin coat. Let's see.
Yeah, this I feel like my project is a long game.
You
It's like I'm just
you got a big boy thing.
yeah, I'm just kind of scooting along, trying to figure out the kind of thing that I like. That's okay. It's fun.
There we go. So that's where he's, and it gives it a very Beksinski kind of vibe to it.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good fun. I gave him really long fingies, like long, spindly fingies.
Yeah, I think we're both gonna get there soon enough.
Soon enough, we will give him the ham. Ham Maestro. Matthew's laugh cracks me up. Unrelated, are we playing the new Evil Dead game? Matt, are you playing the new Evil Dead game?
No, I almost bought it, but I really looked into it, and it looks kind of like a cash grab. I mean, the game like a cash grab.
Cash grab.
No, I mean, dude, it looks awesome, but the fact that like it's kind of just a one-dimensional multiplayer experience without like some sort of campaign or.
Matt hates it.
I don't hate it. It looks awesome. It looks awesome.
He's super mad.
But it looks like the Friday the 13th game from like 5 years ago was way sweeter. That's what I'm thinking.
Matt hates it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
very, very cool. I'm into hating it.
No.
No, I mean, like I said, I almost bought it, but I was like, man, I don't know. I actually waited a while. I read a lot of interviews, and I was like, it just doesn't seem like there's a high replay value, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
I only play Bloodborne.
You play a little bit of Elden Ring.
I play some Elden Ring. I'm actually like 56 hours in Elden Ring.
Oh, man.
I'm still a baby.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Big man on campus.
Wow, look at
Big boy on campus.
Look at you.
55.
He can't drive 55.
Man, you've been telling the rest of your friends about that? That's something to brag about, dude.
Go stream about it.
Okay. Yo, that's pretty sick.
Look at your boy. Are you working on the string? You got the stringy goose.
I started doing some stringy goose. I'm like, what has he got? I don't know. He's got a very bad underbite.
Oh, he's having a sad time.
But really,
he looks he looked like a fleshy Iron Man or something.
He looks like a fleshy Iron Man. Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't even have a direction on the head. I'm just constantly mushing stuff around.
It's okay. Explore. Fine.
Yet. But my young son is absolutely ready to go outside. I will be back in about 5 minutes.
Okay, Matt's gonna pop. Matt's gonna pop. So if you want to talk to me and ask me any questions, feel free to ask me a question. I'm right here. There was a question: favorite horror movie soundtrack and theme. I love Christine, the original, the John Carpenter Christine soundtrack. That's one of my favorite. I love that synth. It's just such a great addictive tune. So that's one of mine. Let's see. Matt just hates the movie Dread. Maybe I don't know. No, he doesn't hate the movie Dread. Dread? You mean the Carl Urban one? Because that Dread rocks. Justice is asking, have you been checking out some of the newer AI stuff like Midjourney? I have. I tried signing up for the beta and didn't. Never heard anything. But like it looks really cool. I mean, like it looks better than some of the stuff I've seen on Disco Diffusion. So yeah, I think it looks really cool. I think it can be scary, because it looks really good. And so of course artists right now we're all questioning like, oh, is our career over, or whatever it is. But it looks really, really cool. And I think a lot of artists are doing, again, they're doing really cool stuff with it. I love to see it. I'd love to get my hands on it and try some stuff out. Like get to play with it, So it looks like a fun toy, and I want to play with toys. On Twitter, I told him to not forget about the movie Dread because he mentioned Alex Garden, and he said he will forget Dread and keep Annihilation. That sounds like a thing between you and Matt. I'm going to stay out of it. But I want all the juicy details. Anyway. So even though it looks like ugly, like a lot of this detail looks really ugly, even on the back and everything, since my camera is locked off, and I send this over to Keyshot, it's pretty much just going to stay kind of like this, so I'm not even worried about the back. Like a lot of times in concept, if I have a really tight deadline, I'm only sculpting to the camera that I set up, and that's pretty much it. I think it's time to give him a like fleshy trench coat. Got a trench coat made of human flesh. The victims that he has, and I figured like maybe the arms would be torn off. I don't know. Now, a lot of the times, I'm just using pre-made props that I've already got. So if I don't have to make something new, I won't. So I've got some capes and jackets and other things, various projects. It's like kit bashing. Yeah. I had a long kind of trench coat in here somewhere. I thought I had it. Question. When the concept is approved, does someone else take your model and make it production ready, or do you handle that as well? Usually I just hand off the model, and that's it. And then my job is done. And a lot of the times I don't even know if it's even been approved. They just say, hey, send us your Z-tool, and that's it. I do production modeling and UVing and texturing and all that stuff. But usually I don't take those jobs unless it's like a character that I know like I can either do quickly or something that like I would be really passionate about. Because if you're going to do that production level, that's a long project to be on. So I take those jobs sparingly. And mostly I love to design. I like coming up with ideas. Working on the same character is really rewarding. And sometimes I'm a, I look at projects with like really great CGI, and I'm like, man, I would love to work on that guy for a year. Any of the Witcher monsters, like I would work on that for a year, forever. And there is something super rewarding about seeing it animated and moving. Yeah, see, there's a trench coat. But that's not the trench coat I wanted. So I might have to make a new trench coat, which is not a big deal. You know, we'll just take sweater vest. Let's take this guy. We'll just turn it into something. But he needs like a trench coat of the damned. Give him a little shirt. Yeah. Thank you. Great question is what was the last creature from a film and TV that really impressed you? I mean, like, you have to understand everything looks so good these days. It all looks so cool. So I think a lot of stuff is at such a high level now that that like everything's impressive. Creature wise, I really loved all the creatures they did on The Witcher. I thought they looked fantastic for a TV budget. And I know that's an expensive show. But I thought those creatures looked fantastic. The tree guy, the guy with the tusks, I know ILM did that dude. So he looked fantastic. So I loved all that stuff. And then the other thing I would say would be the Avatar 2 trailer. I thought looked really fantastic as well. All the Na'vi looked really good. Matt Millard's back. We're gonna go come back, Matt Millard. We're gonna say come back, Matt Millard.
What's up, guys? What did I miss? What are we talking about?
We're
What's
talking
going
about
on?
hams and tamblins.
Oh, we're talking about Hammy Tamblin? That's my Elden
We're
Ring.
talking about our good friend hams and tamblins.
That's my Elden Ring character.
No, what was the last creature from film and TV that really impressed you?
Well, the parallel to this is just something I had on my brain. And man, it's that last Resident Evil trailer, guys.
Oh yeah.
I gotta tell you, way into it.
I was just thinking I was saying the Avatar 2 trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I have an opinion about.
He's got feelings.
I've got feelings about
He's
it,
got
guys.
feelings.
Like, listen, I'm sorry if I just if I become, a pariah from this, but it looks awesome. Okay.
Why would you be a pariah? I think it looks great.
Yeah, it looks awesome, but no, you didn't let me finish.
Oh
man.
no, there's a but.
Yeah, there's a but there. It's Avatar.
But it's Avatar is the but.
Yeah, it's like, 14 years old. We're hanging out. It looks incredible. And I'm like, man, oh no, it's Avatar. I'm like, dude, they should have made a sequel like 10 years ago.
I have some bias. I worked on the movie, not as a creature designer, but I did work on it. And so I got to go visit Lightstorm, and like see the whole presentation and everything. Like they gave me the full pitch, and man, it's crazy. So that's all I will say on that, because I obviously I can't talk about it, but so seeing the trailer, I was like, wow.
No, I mean, it looks, like I said, I mean, there wasn't a cell in my body that wasn't impressed, but at the same time, I was like, I don't care about the story, dude. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, there's been
I
like
really
nothing.
don't.
There's been like nothing of the story.
I just really don't. Like it's. I mean, not even the fact that they haven't revealed the story. It's literally just like this is almost a remake at this point, right? Like they remade Black Christmas like
No, not
like 6 times in like 10 years. It's like that's what it feels like. No, it's not a remake. I'm just saying that's what it seems like to me. It's like okay, this just it's so soon, but also so late for a sequel.
No, I get it. I mean, like, dude worked on that for 13 years.
Yeah,
which is insane. Like, can you imagine dedicating any amount of time to a project? 13 years, and you're Jim Cameron, who can literally do anything that he wants.
Who notoriously like takes a long time and continues to just make masterpieces, right?
Yeah. So
which I don't. I
mean, the man is a kid.
I have no doubt that the movie is going to be incredible, man. But it's just like, for me personally, I'm not like way stoked on it. It's like
no,
okay.
I don't think anybody's like, oh, I'm into Avatar. Like, I don't think anybody's like climbing over each other to go sit in the theater yet. But I think it's going to do really well when it comes out. And I think it's just because we want some spectacle again. It's been so long since we've had some real spectacle.
I don't know.
Doctor Strange is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's like the big deal, right? Is like I feel like Doctor Strange is going to be more entertaining than that movie.
I think that. Well, I mean, it's like apples and oranges.
I mean, entertainment is the bread and butter of film, right?
Yeah, like, it's all it's all gravy. I think the more, obviously the more creature films we get, the better. Anything with more monsters in it, I'm game. Obvious bias here. And Lance Red. Oh yeah, in the Resident Evil trailer, Lance Reddick shows up. I love Lance Reddick.
Yeah, he's playing Wesker, dude.
Dude, anything Lance Reddick does. Yeah, I don't know if you ever watched Bosch. Do you like?
He was the thing that I know him from is The Wire.
Oh, The Wire's amazing. Bosch is really good. The Wire's incredible. The Wire is just like really harrowing. Tough watch, but amazing. Talking about ham tamales. Are you adding like fleshy skin?
I'm gonna start putting cloth on this guy. I replaced his head with the skull just to get it just a little more creepy, right? I'm gonna start breaking up his pose a little bit. This is definitely one of those. It's like okay, you just gotta see what's working and what's not working.
Starting to work on some cloth myself. Gonna work on his trench coat made of human skin. And I'm going to make it sleeveless. It's a sleeveless trench coat so you can see his arms.
I like that. I like that about him. I'm into it.
And then there's always the inevitable question, like, what do you do with the crotch? You would not believe like how much like actual jabberjawing is done about the crotch of a character. Like,
man, it's wild.
Oh yeah. Man, they will obsess about the crotch all day long.
The cod piece needs to be bigger because he's a superhero and not a regular person.
They spend a lot of time talking about the cod. Matt's piece is like a flesh pope. Kind of looks like a flesh pope.
I'm into flesh popes.
I like flesh popes. Mine's like a flesh vagabond, like a flesh bum. He's just a tall boy.
That's what he likes. He likes being a tall boy.
He likes being a tall boy.
There we go.
He's a fine tall boy. My life is so much better because they added the cloth brushes.
It's pretty wild.
Like, I remember Dynamesh being a big deal. And now we got cloth brushes. When the night is full, when the moon is full, and it's the super blood moon, the tall boy comes out and he stalks his prey. Will he add you to his fleshy coat of victims? The tall boy. Beware, for he prays at the Church of Yim.
The Church of Yim from the precinct of Yam.
The precinct of Yam. Fear not, or he will turn you into a flesh pope for his unholy army. He's a fleshy flasher.
He's a fleshy flasher.
Fleshy flasher.
He's into it.
He's into it. He's having a good time. Don't mind me, about to just go flesh pope.
Just about to pope some flesh out.
About to pope some flesh.
About to pope some flesh.
Yes. Gonna see my friends, pope some flesh. Skin. Made of human skin. Whew, human skin, let me tell you. Oh, speaking of, you know what I watched? Watched Fresh on Hulu.
Okay.
And it's got Sebastian Stan.
Okay.
He is Winter Soldier.
Uh-huh.
He's also Tommy and Pam and Tommy.
Uh-huh.
He's an actor, is what I'm saying.
I like
he plays
it.
different characters.
Feels good.
Yeah. Anyway, so about this girl, and she's like super sad and lonely because like we see her kind of go on a date, and the date goes really bad.
It's sad.
And so she's sad, right? She's like, dating's not for me. And she ends up meeting Sebastian Stan at a grocery store. He just comes over and picks her up. And he's like, hey, I'm so awkward and funny. And he's very handsome.
Of course. Yeah, he's a handsome man.
He's a handsome man. They don't put you on camera if you're not handsome. And anyway, so he turns out to be not what he seems.
Okay.
And I enjoyed the movie.
That is a great story.
A great way. Like, I don't want to spoil it. I didn't want to spoil it there. But I need you guys to know that I watched it.
It looks great. It sounds great. Everything's great.
It sounds really great.
Yeah, I'm way into, the new Resident Evil trailer. I'm excited about it. What about
how many times have you watched it?
Oh, I don't know, like twice.
Twice.
But what about we just got the She-Hulk trailer.
Yeah, that's right. That just came out today.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks dope.
It looked like a show.
Looks like a show that you would like to see.
Did you ever watch Orphan Black?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you did. It's got Tatiana Maslany, who's She-Hulk.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's how she got kind of noticed. And Orphan Black's the story of a bunch of clones that end up finding each other, and they find out that like their cloning was all part of a big, secret government experiment, blah blah blah. But Tatiana Maslany she plays like 8 different versions of herself, and they're all there sometimes in a scene together, riffing off of each other. So it's like a crazy feat.
Oh, that's wild, man.
It's a good show. Like it's a good kind of like I want to say suspenseful kind of show. So I recommend it. It's a great show, and she's a phenomenal actress. She won an Emmy for that, and rightfully so, because when you see her like acting against like 8 different versions, because like when an actor has to do that, they have to play against themselves. They have to shoot the same scene 400,000 times from a locked off camera. Everything has to be rehearsed, and so imagine playing like 8 different characters. It's crazy, and then all of them feeling like distinct, unique, whole human beings. Bonkers.
Yeah, watch the Penteveret.
Oh yeah, how'd you like that? I watched the first episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Mike Myers, so I thought it was really fun.
It was kind of fun. Yeah, the premise is kind of fun.
It's a show he's been wanting to make for like, I don't even know how many years. I can't remember, but it was like the beginning of his career. He's been obsessed with this
one idea.
This secret association, the Penteveret. So it was really fun. I mean, there's some funny stuff in there. It's Mike Myers, dude.
Yeah, I know, and it's Mike Myers and Mike Myers and Mike Myers. So there's a lot of that.
There's some funny stuff in there, though.
It feels like a Austin Powers spinoff or something.
Yeah, but what doesn't, right, with him?
Well, because it's Mike Myers.
Yeah, times 100.
Times like 100 Mike Myers. And I like Mike Myers.
Love Mike Myers.
He's a handsome man. They don't put you on camera unless you're handsome.
That's what I hear. That's why you were on camera for Bubblicious commercial.
You're very funny.
Let's hear about it.
Okay, so hold on, I gotta close.
Yeah, pull it up. Let's go.
We might get DMCA by.
No one's gonna come for you, bro.
Oh, they might come for me. No, I was a young actor.
Oh yeah, dude, super famous. You guys didn't know this.
Yeah. Well, is it on YouTube? It's on. I know it's on YouTube. Anyway, when I was a kid, I had an agent. I did commercials, and I did a commercial which ended up being like crazy fun. I won't play the whole thing, but I'll play the. Let's see if I can find it. Anyway, so they cut my hair, like they shaved my head in like the worst hair configuration possible. Oh, there it is. 1992.
That's the year that Mortal Kombat came out, Jared.
No way.
Yeah.
That was a special year.
That is the year that Mortal Kombat 1 came out. Everybody needs to understand that.
Everybody, all right. Well, we'll show you the screen cap here. Let me pull this up real quick. Boom. So yeah, this commercial's still on YouTube. So that's me.
Look at him.
Look at that young me. And so they sat me in this chair and they really cut my hair.
I love it.
I know. And that's my claim to fame.
That's him, dude. He's a movie star.
It. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was my big shot. And I went to school the next day with my hair like that.
Yeah. And everybody loved it, I'm sure.
And everybody loved it, and they showered me with praise and champagne.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, like that was kind of like my first experiences, like being on set and like learning how commercials are made, and it was kind of like, oh, like this is what film and television is like. Like this is what this is what it is. And they ended up, it ended up getting put on hold. Like they put the commercial on hold, but they still really wanted to make it. So they pay you what are called holding fees. So they're paying you for not having aired it yet. So that was rad. And then they gave me a ton of bubble tape. They gave me like 10, 15 canisters of bubble tape. It was rad.
What just regular flavor?
It was a regular flavor. It was a lot of bubble tape.
None of the purple.
None of the purple.
Blue. Okay.
No, it was all pink. It was all the pink bubble tape.
Yeah, because just to link that up, Jackie asked if I saw Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh, did Matt see Welcome to Raccoon City?
I sure did.
Oh, we knew, like, right on the chat, we knew right away that Matt had seen Welcome to Raccoon City.
I have seen it. Have you seen it? Said human.
Said human.
Said human. Have you seen it? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, did Matt see it? Let me tell you something.
I got to be honest, man. I've seen that movie multiple times.
Gee, he saw it multiple times just so he could.
I had to make sure.
He had to make sure.
Because, I mean, if you want to talk about one out of two things that are super important to me,
very upset.
It's Resident Evil and Mortal Kombat, and man,
they're like the pillars of Matt's personality.
It's my life.
Like if you hold up the core of Matt's personality,
that's all I do.
If you were to break the Resident Evil Mortal Kombat pillars, Matt himself would collapse into himself like a void, like a black star, a void sucking in everything else. So yeah, he saw it.
He's seen it several times.
And
I will say that I've been thinking about this recently. My goal in life is to make a Resident Evil movie.
He wants to make a Resident Evil movie.
And whenever this movie came out, the one thing that I can think of right now is like, man, I'm just glad they fucked that up so that I can make a cool Resident Evil movie one day.
But then the series trailer came out, and now Matt's like, oh well, now I.
No, that's not even relevant, man. I mean, that TV show is 30 years after the original Spencer estate.
Okay.
So it's in the future, and it's in London, and it's not following the only important timeline of Resident Evil for me. So the thing with Welcome to Raccoon City is that they were the first movie to touch base on like the greatest moment in Resident Evil history, which was the Spencer Mansion in the first game. And, they did a lot of cool stuff to try and bring it to life, but ultimately it was absolutely hot garbage. And so that's just where I'm at.
Like, look, it was hot garbage, and everybody should feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, to say that it wasn't fun is wrong. Having fun is super important, but I will say, I think out of any film I've seen in the last 10 years, some of the worst everything, for sure.
Like bad CGI, bad acting.
Well, I mean, dude, the
storytelling.
It's almost like you can't even mention the CG because it's just like
it's not even worth mentioning.
There are scenes. There is a scene, Jared, in the oh my god, in the parking garage where you see the dog for the first time.
Right.
And it's shoulder, it's like over shoulder kind of conversation shot, right? Like you see
Standard.
you see the character, and then the camera turns around, and you see the monster, and the monster is the dog. And whenever you turn around and you see the character, he's, I don't know, this is going to be a bad example, but he's wearing clothes that have different colors on them. I don't know if it's red or blue or gray or whatever. And then, it's his whole flesh tone, eyeballs, everything's normal. That's a regular shot. Then you turn around and the dog is like the most saturated, over-composited thing you've ever seen in your life. And I'm like, dude, your reference is literally right there. Like, your black point is there, your white point is there from the plate, bro. And if you're looking for like your flesh tone, it's right there. He's wearing a black shirt. That's like it's like, fuck, man. Like, it was wild.
You're committing cardinal sins. Right there.
Yeah.
Well, that's
but that doesn't mean that I didn't rent a theater out for it, and I watched it several times.
I'm gonna process that for a second. But
there's something you can learn about. I mean, that is the adaptation of my most prized intellectual property of all time. So I am going to watch it, and I'm going to study it, and I'm going to be like, okay, what is wrong with everything?
How can we fix this?
Yeah,
make it better. Which I totally get that. Especially if it's something you really love, and you want it to do well.
Oh yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, like I was saying, I was like, okay, well, I still have some bandwidth to make this movie. You know what I mean?
But like, even if they made like a great adaptation, you can still make another great movie. There's always going to be another great movie, like a Batman movie. Like I want to make a great Batman movie one day.
I don't know. That's different.
That's a different beast.
No. I mean, it's different because Batman has 1 million stories and Resident Evil has 2.
Yeah. I mean,
they have 2.
Well,
stories.
Why wouldn't you want to make like Resident Evil 8?
Why would I ever stray away from? I mean, 8 is okay. Sidestep. 8 is incredible. Resident Evil 1 is just that's my son. My young baby boy.
That's your white whale. That's your.
I love him, dude. I love him.
Dick. It's the thing that he wants the most.
Yeah. So that's actually like kind of the big thing with Resident Evil, right? Like they've covered so much ground, but for me, I'm married to these two things, right? Like RE2, they captured some cool stuff from RE2 in the movie. I will say they did a very bad job character writing on some of the characters. And RE1, they should have just left it out of the movie. They should have just made an RE2 movie. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, because that's like sacred ground, right? I'm an elitist. Whenever it comes to it, I'm like, I can't hang, dude.
He's a Resident Evil elitist.
You got to do it right. Let's go.
Like,
have you seen it yet, Jared?
Welcome to Raccoon City?
Yeah.
No, I have not seen it yet.
Yeah. Check it out because dude, you don't play the games, right? So just watch it. Let us know how you feel.
I will watch it. Is it available somewhere?
You gotta buy it, or you gotta rent it for. I think it's $6 to rent now.
I'm gonna wait till it's streaming. If it's as bad as you say, $6.
You want me to Venmo you $6, bro? Like, come on.
You're gonna make me watch it?
We're talking about it.
I will. Okay, I'll watch it, and I will watch it before next week, and then I will give you my honest
$6 back. You give me $6
I
back.
will give you $6.
Just saying,
Uh,
man. You can
uh,
do it.
okay.
It feels good.
It feels good. Oh, oh, Matt. I will watch Resident Evil for you.
I like that.
I will watch Resident Evil Raccoon City for you.
I like that. That's nice.
Like my big property, if I ever get to make it, would be the Max.
The Max is dope.
I would want to make that movie.
I've brought it up a couple of times, but the Max and Savage Dragon would be
Oh,
sick.
Savage Dragon would be so good.
Yeah, I love me some Malibu comics, man.
Wildcats.
Oh yeah, for
Remember
sure.
Wildcats.
Oh yeah.
They had a dude named Grifter, and he was like kind of Gambit-esque. I loved him. But like the Max is that's the thing that I want to make.
Yeah, he's like, well, man, I mean, I remember whenever I was a kid, me and my dad drove out to Texas and met some Malibu comic artists. It was really cool.
The Max and Gargoyles. Don't want to make gargoyles. Like no one's gonna give me like $200 million to make gargoyles yet, so I have to work my way up. Unless someone wants to give me $200 million to make gargoyles movie. I would happily pitch that to Disney. Please let me make a gargoyle. Whoa. So he's got a fleshy trench coat. I haven't added any details yet, but now the blockout is there. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and apply it. We'll start making it looking fleshy.
We like it.
We like it fleshy. We like it fleshy here on Creature Corner. You ever put like some surface noise on stuff? Feels good.
Oh yeah, I do that. Actually, whenever I'm designing, especially like clothing and shit like that, I do that a lot. Actually, whenever I was doing I was doing this really big demon for a Chinese movie, right? And they wanted a bunch of small scales and large scales kind of going into each other. And what I did was I recorded like layers of small skin. I would do a surface noise of a high tiled scale. And then I'd do like a mid tiled scale and then a large tiled scale. And then I would morph out the different layers on layers. And so
that's really smart. Yeah.
So whenever like, your supervisor comes over, they're like, oh, well, we want more large scales here or more mid scales there. You can just kind of morph, paint them in and out.
And so you would like create a new layer, store morph target.
Yeah. You create a layer of just filled, and there's UVs at this point, so everything's
so it's flowing across the body.
Right.
Okay. I was gonna say you'd need UVs to keep it like super clean.
Yeah, because what happens is whenever they project it in 3D, you get a lot of stretching depending on what axis it's coming. Can you show us on your guy? Yeah, I'll show you right now.
Matt's going to show us on his guy.
Okay, let's see. So,
demo time.
Let's look at this. Here's an arm. What are we at? Okay. So, let's go to...
He's got 10 zibbity bibbities.
I am desperately going to try and look professional here in this in this moment. Okay, so let's just go to surface noise, right? And so in my case, I was using a custom alpha that I had made, but just for example's sake, what we're going to do is use the noise plug here. And we'll go to scales, right? Let's click scales. It's always going to default to mix that basic noise in. And let's go like this. Okay. Can you see that? Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
So here's some scales. Let's actually reverse it. Yeah, like that. That's what we want. We want it to pop out of the skin. So let's call these the the medium scales. We're going to turn this off, and we're going to make this a very high res, just so that we can actually. I just want to show you guys.
You need to be able to support it with the poly count.
Yeah, I want to show you guys
details that you're
the actual practice. It's a little bit of a different workflow in production, but this is going to be the exact idea that you're looking for. Okay.
It's like the down home dirty.
So the down home dirty, baby. Let's just apply this to the mesh. Look at that. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to back out of that, and I'm going to do just a little less. I don't want it to be nuts. But this is going to be our base. Apply to mesh. Okay, let's just say that this is going to work for us. So what I'm going to do, Control Z, I'm going to create a layer. And I'm going to call it mid scales. Look at that. Naming conventions. Insane.
Gotta remember.
And then we're going to apply to mesh. We're going to. Okay, so now this is like taking that surface noise, and to our point earlier, this doesn't have UVs on it, so you can see all of this stretching that's happening right here, right? It's projecting it on like just the Z axis. That's all it's doing. It's garbage. But if you had UVs, it would wrap all the way around. So here's mid scales. You turn it on, you turn it off. Boom, mid scales. You create a new layer. You're going to name it large scales.
Really important to name your layers when using them, because real easy to get confused or be on the wrong layer.
So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to that same noise. And this, again, you've made a custom tileable texture. Everybody's approved it. They all love it. It's incredible. You're a wonderful artist.
You're a hero.
You fought in Vietnam. It's insane. And what we're going to go is we're going to make it just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger. Right? And we're going to apply that. I'm going to turn that off. Boom. So you've got large scales and mid scales. And now you can see, if you turn them both on, you can see the gridding, right? The small scales are literally just being projected on Z at a smaller scale. I'm going to turn that off. And I might not even go an extra level just for simplicity. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to, there's a bunch of different ways to do this, but let's say like, hey, you start with your big scales. You like these. Right? Like this is your base level scale on this arm right here. And you want to paint in some of your smaller scales. So you go to morph target, store morph target, and that's going to store your tiny scales on the model. You're just using that layer for only that. And you turn on your big scales, create a new layer, name it small scale morph, and you use the morph brush, which used to be BMG, but who knows what it is now. Oh, it is.
No, it's still BMG.
Look at that. So the small scales come in. Small scales start to come in. And this kind of model is not the greatest example, but you can see that like once you start to get down to here, you would want some smaller scales. So you start to morph it in. Look at that. Now you've got small scales everywhere. It's just morphed in from right there, right?
Yeah.
maybe you work it up a little bit. And so the deal is, if you have like 3 or 4 different levels of detail in a high resolution model, whenever you're, because a lot of times in production, you'll be designing in production. Like for instance, in the bicep, it's going to be flexing a lot. You're going to want small scales in there every time. And you know what? We might even just mess around and get smaller scales in here. So I just broadly stroke these small ones in here. And let's just say, for instance, you're like, okay, it looks a little messy in here. You know what? I mean, the second you get in here and start to add some of this muscle detail, it's not going to be hardly noticeable. But if it's real serious, what you got to do, make a new layer, turn everything off.
Store
and
more
then
card.
and then store a very high tiled morph target, man. And so you just take that alpha scale, which for some reason isn't showing it. Oh yeah, plug-in scale. My bad. And let's just say, I mean, that's pretty small comparatively. Oh my god.
It's like the amount of pre-work that you have to do to set this up is it's heavy on the front end just to get it to work the way you want it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have one tileable texture, and if you store 3 different morph targets and paint them in, you can get some pretty serious stuff. I will say that I have very, very, very rarely done this on actual concept art. It's more whenever concept art is approved and you're in production and doing production concept art, which is like, hey, we like the fact that this is a dragon, but now we have to figure out, you know what I mean? Like, how do all of the scales work? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because someone has to take the junk that we build and make it usable, and that's a whole other thing.
So, for instance, I've stored a third one here. I've got my regular large. Okay, so here's my 2 morph targets stuck together. I've stored a new morph target right here of a smaller one. And then you can go in. I mean, look at that. Like, before you know it, like,
It's really cool.
this is the most simple model you've ever seen. It's just a cylinder with some little bit of draft. But you can go in here and start to paint
That's really cool, man.
small scales. And imagine if this wasn't just, a tileable, like a ZBrush plugin. Imagine if you had like actual alphas, right? Like some real stuff going
Yeah,
on.
because
Like you
sometimes
can get
in
you can
production
get
they'll give you they'll have a graphic person
yeah.
make custom tileables for that stuff.
But yeah, I mean, even just look at this. I mean, right there. I'm gonna back it up. Right here. I'm gonna shift Z forward. Oh, I just fucked it up. That's okay. So I've got my morph target, big scales, and the second you just pop this morph target on here, it literally looks like it's transitioning into large scales from medium scales to small scales on the finger, right? And so this is going to get you a lot of the way whenever you're in production and also design. I mean, you can use this on 100 different.
So many
Uh,
applications for that.
yeah, there's so many applications. If it's some stuff like, because I mean, whenever we were working on Aquaman, it's like, hey, we want the scales to
Oh
be
my
big
god.
here and small there and really small there and da 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 da. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. That's honestly a really solid technique that I've had in the pocket for a while that has saved me a lot of time, and it grants you a lot of freedom. It can help you ahead of time too. Like even just laying these scales down, I'm like, oh, okay. Like now I can hide all of these transitions, make a new layer, called it Sculpt. Now that you know, it's like whenever you're looking at Komodos and iguanas, you can really see like how their scales like actually scale down, right? And so naturally they're going to have this, but you've got this garbage in here, and then you just hit it, just go in there and hit it with some separation, right? And those folds and that musculature is going to hide some of those imperfections that you're worried about. You know, production models a little different on the back end, but this all helps. Even just throwing in sculptural detail.
Those different sections get different like UV patches, right?
Yeah, I mean, just like look at that. You hit it with some smooth, and it just like okay, well that's what's up. It just looks normal. So obviously, if you would have UV'd this, it would have helped. But that is a demo of the workflow.
That was a demo and a half, man. That was really cool. That was a Jim Jammer.
That's a Timmy Taps. You know,
I think that's worthy of the Church of Yim.
The Church of Yim.
Yim.
Kind of forgot we were designing anything.
We're doing we're doing Tall Boys.
That's I mean, dude, that is a trick that has helped me a lot. Like I was on a project making a very tall kind of Oni demon kind of creature for a Chinese film, and the VFX supervisor was just over your shoulder. He's like, "Can you make the scale smaller, just a little bigger? Can you put him over there?" You know, and so you have to figure out a way how to just on the fly get some ideation on how. Okay, so you know, you're just like you're punching it in. You're trying to lock it in. You know,
nothing like that feeling of like having someone over your shoulder, like do this, and you're like, okay, let me figure this out real quick.
I'm dying.
Dying.
I died.
Dead. I'm dead and dying. I'm taking a nice little cloth brush here, and this is going to become my skin patches. So I have someone with like some really nice wrinkles that you can cut in.
Oh yeah.
And so it's going to look real jaggedy, like they're jagged flesh patches. You know, the guys
dude, that brush is gnarly.
Yeah, it's super cool.
That is gnarly.
Yeah, I love these are some ones that I bought from I bought on ArtStation. And then these are ones I bought from Pablo on ZBrush Guides.
Oh yeah, dude, those are sweet.
Dude, like every so often just go on his website and just buy some brushes.
Yeah, I mean they're cheap too, man.
Yeah, they're really affordable and they're excellently made. But you know, I'll buy stuff on ArtStation all the time. So like cloth brushes, for example, I buy, you know, I look at all the cloth brushes I have, you know, so I go through some cloth brushes.
That's awesome.
Like, when it comes to like being on a show, I need to be able to make decisions quickly, and I can't really like sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to make my own brush today, because that doesn't always work. And then if you spent a lot of time making a brush and it doesn't work, then you've lost all that time. So if someone's selling a brush set, I'm going to buy it and use it. But I want to make really gnarly skin patches, like it's all been like sewed together poorly. You know, he's a tall man.
He's a tall man.
He's got a tall man, and he's got long fingers. And if you have long fingers, you're not going to be like the best seamstress. I don't think.
He's got long fingers.
Like, look at how they look. He's got long fingers. Yeah, long
the
fingers.
Boy has long, scary
fingers.
Boy's
got long skin. Oh, yeah. His biomech brushes are also great. I bought some of those, too.
Yo, yeah, those are sick, dude.
Let me see. I thought about using them on this dude, but I went through all the trouble of making my own brushes, so like I might as well. I should probably use them. But he's having a bad time because he's an evil spirit, and he wears a trench coat made of human flesh.
That's what he likes to do, Jared. It's not his fault.
It's like his whole thing. See, now he's got like, I give him kind of like long rocker hair. So it looks like.
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
Tall man. Maybe he's got pants made of skin too.
Maybe he's got pants. Maybe he took the time to make pants.
He wants to cover his shame.
He wants to cover his shame. That's the driving force.
Well, I mean, yeah,
It's
sure.
a shame.
If you're, if you're an evil, but malevolent monster, you don't necessarily want people seeing your shame.
You don't want people seeing your.
You want people to be scared. You don't want them to like, see your ghost wiener.
You don't want them to see your shame. That's
your
for
shame.
sure.
Your shame. Look, talking about crotches. That if you're doing costume design, there's going to be a lot of talk about the crotch.
Yeah, and if you're doing creature design, there is no crotch.
No, we sculpt eunuchs. A lot of eunuchs.
It's all eunuchs.
Not to be confused with Linux.
Well, I will say one thing I got out of this episode of the stream is a decent tutorial on how to be a flip-flap.
On how to be a good flip-flap.
Flippinson's Flappinsons.
If he had Flippin' Flappinson's disease.
No, that surface noise layer thing has helped me a lot.
That's a trick that will keep giving.
It gives the greatest of all givings.
It's the greatest of all giving time.
It is time for me to hit Lesaka.
Yeah, we're coming to the end here, but let's do a little check-in. So now I've got pants made of skin.
Oh man!
And I think the next thing I need, this is just my thoughts on this, is like I need some like flesh faces in here, because right now it's all wrinkles, wrinkly skin, but I'd like to see like a human face in some of these, Necronomicon style. What do you think, Matt? Maybe something else I could give him?
The only thing that I can think of is, I mean, you have really long fingers, but
he does have long fingers.
What is that, man? I mean, just really long nails.
On top of the long fingers.
That are yellow.
Like yellow and curly and aged.
Right, like there's here it is right here. What is his name? The Looney Tunes, the big red monster.
Oh,
Gossamer.
Gossamer.
His name is Gossamer.
Gossamer.
So just right here in this picture on my screen. I always remember being a kid and just seeing these nails.
They look like candy corns.
They look like candy corns, but
they look like candy corns.
You know what they're indicating is like some really gross, dirty ass nails.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Like orange, yellow, just they come into the light first, and you're like, "Ugh, dude, shit!" Like the World Guinness guy that has the spirals.
Yeah, and they get like
not that insane. Probably about half that insane, but it's
like if I could take a spiral or something, and if I could like cut down the thickness and make it flat, that would be the way to go. Or if I see, like if we did this and we stretched it out, this could be like a really good curly nail.
Yeah.
So if I took this and maybe I'll cut off a strip or something, and then extrude that, and that will become the nail.
Yeah,
this would be
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you're
that'd
right.
be gross.
Okay, some curly nails, and I don't know. Do you think like he needs like a flesh belt, or uh, maybe like a sash that's flesh, or
I
do
don't know.
he
I
he's
mean,
kind of metal like as it is?
it seems like if anything, he could be hunched over more and be taller to where whenever he actually stood all the way up, you were like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were real tall, but it turns out you're really,
I mean
really tall."
he's got like
He
some
does. I mean, he's got a hunch, but you
he's got
might
a
be
bad
able to.
posture.
What if you like pushed like to where you could almost see the shoulder blades like break his silhouette or
Oh
something?
yeah, like let's see.
No, I like the suit though. It looks dope.
Yeah, like where they're really poking out.
Yeah, yeah, right.
That's a very like emaciated and pulled.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But he's like so big.
He's so big. I mean, like he's very very tall.
Has
Very tall.
anyone does anyone understand that he's tall, or is it
Like,
just us
is it
that
just
knows?
us? Like he seems like he would be tall, but I don't know. I don't know. Could be confusing.
I'm not a real person. I don't know what's tall and what isn't tall.
Some creepy bling. Maybe a totem pole made of flesh or something.
I'm
Maybe
like, yeah, some Hannibal stuff right there.
yeah, or I don't want to give him like religious iconography, but I mean like a staff is so overdone, and he's got
Yeah,
long fingers. But maybe we'll figure out something else we can give him. Maybe he wears a chain of regret.
a chain of regret is
Like
nice.
it's chains that are weighing him down.
Yeah, it's like
The
the burden that he carries.
burden of the souls that he must collect
Yeah, I like it.
at the Church of Yim.
I like it, and it's at the Yim. That's the
And it's
thing.
at the Yim. He's the great Church of Yim. All right, Matt. Well, show me what you got.
And nothing too developed yet. I've been like going back and forth. I don't have a solid direction, so I'm like, is he like a creature? Is he a human? I started
Seems
putting
like
cloth on him.
I mean, I
Where's the
like seeing
cloth
the
at?
skull. I think the skull face is really cool.
The skull is working. That was like the only idea. I was like, okay, well, maybe the skull makes it scary, and maybe
Yeah,
like
I think so.
the lighting kills off the whole creature, but just leaves like one little idea that there might be some different stuff there right here in these hands.
I like it without the cloth more.
Oh yeah, I mean the cloth was
I
garbage.
like seeing the body figure. I mean, the body's really creepy.
Yeah,
The There's something like lanky and weird about like he looks like he's being puppeteered and
yeah.
yeah, so,
You
like
know what
that's
I'm
really cool.
thinking.
I think the cloth covers it though, so I like seeing the body.
I'm thinking maybe it's more like okay, so
Close
because I
the
mean,
eye.
what are we? We're probably like 3.5 hours into this idea.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm going very loose, but maybe it's more like what was that? The Blomkamp thing? The shit,
Oh, the
zygote, the zygote
yeah.
mixed with like the thing, right? And the
Oh,
thing's
yeah.
just got all these flappy tentacles instead of it being like
Yeah, that's cool.
instead of it. I'm trying to see if
Because
I
he's
can.
like stuffing those tentacles into the body to pilot the body.
Right, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like it's like an
Maybe there's like a bunch,
invasive.
there's a bunch of them. Like
It's yeah. I'm thinking maybe you just like go in here and you just
they're like
start like
wrapping over a little
you're
bit.
just adding. They're like kind of everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Paint some going down the arms too.
Oh, we're getting there. I'm
Yeah,
thinking like the whole like right. I'm
yeah.
thinking like this. I'm thinking like uh, let's go red. Like this are those are going to be the areas where it's kind of the most human, and the
Yeah.
rest of it is
Maybe
just
breaking
working
tentacles breaking out
itself.
the tips of the fingers too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they're kind of flinging off a little bit, and then this girl, she is upset.
She's having a bad time.
She's having a bad time. But yeah, like maybe right here is a good spot to just start wrapping around this invasive species, or this invasive species is wrapping around this human form, right? I have a little bit of it coming in right here.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's
yeah,
what I'm thinking. You know, like some spindly fingers, um, just very simply kind of adding some stuff. I like the idea of the feet. I always love this idea. I don't know why. I like regular ass feet. like
or,
like the whole body's taken over and then you've just got regular foot.
well, you know, I
I
think
love that.
toes
I
are
love
terrifying.
regular foot. Oh yeah.
Human,
And
you know, it's terrifying. It's overall, it's very scary when you see
but
it.
even actually now that I look at it, having these, if we, okay, let's turn this off. And I'll just do a very simple overlay layer just to see. There we go. Just pop some of this light right quick. And then whenever you look at, let's go ahead and crop this just for presentation's sake. Right there. Like that's an image, right?
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, and then you've barely got the hint of some sort of alien presence right here. We don't know what it is. Nobody knows what
Nobody
it is.
knows.
But it's there, and you can see that it's there. Let's turn on the other tentacles. Look at that. Yeah, I mean that's some Lovecraftian kind of. He's a very tall man.
He's a tall man. Oh wow, that's weird.
Yeah,
You know
I think that could work on another session for sure.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to keep going with this guy. Look at this happy accident here. Bless you twice.
Thank you.
Look at this happy accident. So I was drawing on my. I didn't realize this, but I was materials when I was drawing on my VDM.
Yeah.
And so by accident.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Totally
yeah.
It looks like there's a cavity shader in here, but this was totally by accident.
Okay, so just right quick, you can straight up store materials on your VDMs.
Yeah, like look, it looks like it's been painted with two different materials.
Yeah. No, yeah, I can see it coming in like
that.
Yeah.
That's so any brush, dude. Yeah, so any brush you can use.
That's great.
Yeah, looks. I had MRGB turned on, so just by like happy accident, I ended up getting this. So I could actually do like two-tone.
Let's do
like a Timmy two-tone.
I kind of like how it looks like he's styling, bro.
He's kind of looks.
The jacket's kind of styling.
Yeah, he's kind of cool.
He's kind of styling.
He's a tall boy, but he's kind of like rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's like kind of like a metal god. You know, like dude loves to shred.
Dude shreds.
Dude shreds. I read. I've been reading the DC metal series, so like metal dudes are on my mind.
Love metal dudes. I'm a metal dude.
You're kind of a metal dude yourself.
Kind of a metal dude. I was a touring musician in death metal bands, Jared. How are you gonna cut me down like that?
I'm not cutting you down.
You're cutting me down.
I'm not cutting you down.
You cut me down.
I ain't cutting.
I'm gonna tell Alex that you cut me down.
I ain't cutting.
Dude, I don't know.
If I was cutting, you would know I was cutting.
Okay, you would know if I was cutting.
You would know about it. I would tell you about
it. Dude, yeah. After this little paint over, I know exactly where I'm gonna go. Minus just a quick liquefy to see if anything changes. That's the one thing I do quick tip. Anytime you're designing anything, just bring it in to liquefy. Doesn't matter if you're just so happy with it. And, just make the shoulders bigger. Look at
Yeah,
that.
it's like tripod.
Already scarier. Already scarier. Like, infinitely. I mean, it's just like little things. You do like little broad strokes. You're like, okay, what does that look like? What does that look like? And you're just exploring. Like, what's the coolest image, right? Make things smaller, make things bigger. Like, there's the change, but honestly, it looks scarier. So you can reflect that in your sculpt, or ultimately at the end of the day, you're going to be adding it in your Photoshop file. But it's just stuff to think about, right?
I'm thinking about a tall boy.
Everybody here's thinking about tall boys.
Look at this tall boy. I made a fun like little waxy flesh material for a project, and I love this thing. It just looks waxy and weird.
Yeah, let it settle for a second so we can see it on the stream. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Just gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
I took this from a foot.
Look at butt.
I took it from a foot.
God, baby, took it from a foot.
I took it from a foot.
But even with just, I mean, yeah, dude, even on my end, like that little liquefy and some color, I mean, you can see how another session between both of ours would make it super sick, right?
Yeah, we're like, that's what's fun. Explore.
And ultimately, like at the end of the day, it's like after 3 sessions, that's basically a full day's worth of work.
Yeah, I mean, like after a day, a good day and a half, you'd have a really, really polished concept.
Yeah, and sometimes you will straight up send over artwork that is just blocked in just to get an idea. But other times,
to get an approval.
Yeah, or just to get some sort of direction. It becomes it's a very fluid thing. Hopefully, hopefully for you all.
So like the more you do it, the better you get. The more confident you get. Then you can start executing all your ideas the way you want. And then it starts getting closer to the stuff that's actually in your head.
Yeah, I think this is the direction, right? Like I'm actually at the point where I'm like, 4 hours in, I'm like, okay, here's the direction. And then I can go in and kill it out. Sometimes you start and you're like, man, this is where I want to go. I have this exact idea. For me, it was like I had an idea of kind of like some lighting and a scene, and then I explored from there. It happens both ways.
Dark Flesh. Lord Raven Dark Flesh. I don't know.
Lord Timmy Taps.
Lord Timmy Taps.
Have you seen The Northman?
I have not.
It's very good.
I do want to see The Northman.
It's very good. It's a Northman.
I heard it's very violent and possibly violent.
I liked it a lot.
I like violence.
I desperately want to see it for a second time.
That good to see it again.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Very absolutely. There's too much of a good thing. It's just all too good. Dude, even black and white's looking nice. I'll just see what's up.
Let me get there. Yeah. Right now I'm not doing much else other than like playing with materials and trying stuff. Seeing what works.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta
try.
Honestly, you just go for it just to see if anything's working. That's all it is.
Does anything at all work here?
You're just going for it.
But he's very tall. Like this is a guy that like if he walked past you, you'd be like, man,
Man, that
hey,
is
that
tall.
guy is tall.
That dude's tall. Dude's tall as hell.
Yeah, total happy accident that I had the material on like that. But,
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, that's
you know,
half of it, right? Well,
yeah.
not half of it, but about a 30-40%. You're like, oh shit. Okay.
I mean, like we could like use a curvature on it, and that would give us a similar effect, but like not like this.
Right.
Not where we got the two-tone, the Tommy two-tone.
The Timmy Two Taps.
The two-time Timmy Tapper.
Timmy Two Taps.
We all know Timmy Two Taps. Guy taps twice and he's out.
The guy he taps twice and it's over. Dude.
That's why he's two taps, man. Two-tap Timmy.
Dude, I mean, he's just two-tap Tim.
Let me tell you about two-tap Tim.
I mean, this is getting into creepypasta territory right here. Just a little bit of paint. A little bit of suggestive paint.
Yeah, I think you're right. Get some nails in there, some like just some a breakup of the pose because right now the pose is very static.
Yeah, if his nails were just like like dark orange.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dark. Just like.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of painting in some overlay like whites and blacks just to see if it's working for me. And I think I like it. I mean, I like the composition. I honestly just kind of want to absolutely get rid of the entire creature aspect of these guys right here. Just to see
just leave the demon and just leave the very demony.
Yeah, and this also happens a lot. I mean, look, that looks so much better. Like just
I gotta agree. It looks spooky.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, it looks so much better.
But but that happens. Like
it happens a lot.
It happens
like
so much.
I want to make sure that people understand that. Like you will spend a long time on shit and you're like, well, just gonna throw that away.
Yep, that's all pretty bad. I hate it, and good night. You're like, ah.
And it's I mean, even just a like very simple paint over can kind of show you like, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty tall guy. Maybe he's got some tentacles on him. It has become more simplistic in nature, right? I like
but
it.
Like it took you to getting there to try, to see if it worked or not.
Yeah, for sure.
You had to build it. You had to try it just to try it and see, if it worked.
And it also comes with, this particular project is like, okay, I didn't really have some sort of solid direction, right?
Yeah, but, I mean, like neither of us went in and we're like, I mean, this happens also with me and Matt. We're like, we're just going to do this and run with the theme and see if it works. And it does, usually we kind of pull something out.
Every now and then we kind of rock
Every now and then we do something that is okay.
That guy looks like he constantly bums cigarette off of people.
He would. He's a bad dude.
Hey, man, you got a Newport? All right, Jared. Well, I'm out of here, brother.
Okay, Matt is out of here, and I'm out of here, too. It's time. We're turning into pumpkins. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Creature Corner. I personally want to thank every one of you who tuned in, who continue to tune in. We love you. We love you.
We sure do, man.
Love you. Do. And again, please feel free to reach out to us at any time if you have any questions about the industry or you want to know anything personally invasive and deeply disturbing. Please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Jared Krichevsky. Or you can reach out to my Twitty at MonsterMash042. You can find Matt Millard on Twitty at ItchyTasty_.
There's an underscore at the end. But if you know what it's from, bonus points.
Then you get a bonus point. And then he's also available on Instagram at Matt Millard 3D. So that's us. Thank you to our sponsor.
Sponsor.
Our sponsor, Lenovo. Thank you to Lenovo, and thank you to Gnomon School of Visual Effects, the mecca of visual effects creation. We will see you guys next week, where we will shove a bunch of ham in our pockets.
It's true. I can't believe you blew it, but it's true.
It's true. Big surprise. Right. See you next week,
guys. See y'all next week.
Wrong one. It was the